Okay, so today I wanted to kind of go over 5 different commands, probably maybe you haven't used yet in Claude Code, that I think is pretty interesting. It could be if you like this. So I'm already a big fan of Claude Code. I use it, yeah, kind of all the time if I have something I want to do. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through some different commands I use, yeah, to help me save some time sometimes, and it could be easier if you wanted to dive deeper into Claude Code to know about these. So the first one we're gonna start with is just /init. So this is gonna create a Claude MD file. You might have heard about this, so I'm just gonna show you kind of a simple example of how we can use this Claude MD file today. Yeah, just gonna do something simple, and I'm gonna show you kind of how this works and how we can use this for our advantage. So this is the Claude MD file I want to use today. Yeah, you can see here I kind of prepared this, but you can do this manually, right? So do you want to create Claude MD? Yes, I do, and then I'm gonna edit it manually. So this is gonna be placed here in my folder now. You can see this in cursor, so we can go into this. So this is basically rules you can set for your project. So this file provides guidance to Claude Code, right? We have a project overview, and yeah, this was just something from my previous project. So I'm gonna remove all this, and I'm gonna do like a custom Claude MD here for my next project. So an example of this could be, let's update our Claude. So number 1, we must always write secure best practice Python code. 2, always write tests for each function we create and execute the tests. Iterate the function based on the test results. Delete test scripts if the test passes. And number 4 is always commit after each new function is added to our code base. So this is what we are going to update our Claude MD file with. And hopefully now Claude Code will always follow these simple rules when we actually do some changes to our code base. Okay, so here we have it. So this is kind of our rules to follow now. We're gonna do one more thing before we test this out. And you can see we have connected our GitHub here in an MCP server. So I'm just gonna create a new repo for our test project. So let's just create this repo. And we're gonna use our MCP to do that. Or we're gonna use GitHub tools, okay, that's good. So we're probably gonna just create this. Yeah, that was done. Let me check. Yeah, you can see we have our project here in GitHub. That's good. So what I want to do now is I want to add this to my Claude MD file. So just add this to our project repo in Claude MD. Okay, good. So you can see we have our repo here now. Perfect. So now we can actually test this out. So let's do write an email input validator function in cc.py. So we're not gonna instruct this to test this now, write test for it, but because this should be in our markdown file Claude MD, right? So let's see what happens now if we create our cc.py with an email input validator. Hopefully now it will look in this and create the tests we need, right? So you can see cc, okay. So yeah, okay, perfect. We created the cc.py. So now I wanna see if we create a test for this. Yes, test cc.py, so this is gonna import this probably. Yes, okay. And hopefully we will execute this test. Yes, okay, so those were okay. Now I wanna see if we delete this test, remove, yep. Okay, so you can see how this follows our Claude MD, and this is very helpful sometimes, right? Now we wanna do this to add this to our repo. Okay, so let's have a look. So if we refresh here now, you can see we have our cc.py here. Perfect. So that worked, right? This is already tested, should be good to go. But we can add to this, right? Okay, next step is to add a date input validator field in cc.py. So let's try that. Hopefully this should be the same. It should do everything we said in our Claude MD. So we should write function, test it, and commit it. Yes, we're gonna add the function. Yes, we're gonna write the test. We're gonna run the test. All good. We're gonna remove the test. Perfect. We're gonna update our GitHub to commit this. And that was it, right? So if you refresh here now, you can see we added our validate function. So that was easy. So this is a very nice way to work. I kind of like this workflow. So spending some time setting up your Claude MD could be helpful, even in like small project like this. Now we have 2 functions that is tested, not maybe thoroughly tested, but at least some tests have been run on this. So that is kind of the first command, setting up your Claude MD file. This could be helpful sometimes, not every time, but yeah, check it out. So let's move on to our second command I sometimes like to use. Another thing we can do is actually create these custom commands. This could be project or global. So we can create a global one here. So just to create this file in this Claude commands folder. So let's just do that. I prepared some of this. So one I use sometimes is, yeah, we can just do this. One I use is a file called claudedocs.md. So this is kind of a command file that kind of points to where I have stored my Claude documentation, so I kind of can update this. This is some information about how to use the Claude AI API. So this is the file I refer to in Claude Code to kind of look up documentation, so I can show you how this works. So yeah, we can just create this file and you will see this file now ends up in my commands file along with the other ones I have here, right? But let me show you how this works now. So if you do slash, you can see we have these different user commands here. So let's do use, let's say we can do user and we can do, let's do Claude docs, right? And I can do a question behind here. Give me a code example of Claude AI API. So this will now look in the file I have pointed to here, right? Hopefully, yeah, you can see it's gonna look in my Claude docs file. So this is kind of pre-arranged. So now it kind of has all the documentation from this MD file here, and we should pick up that how to create a call chat or like a client message create call to Claude or Anthropic is this, right? So now we can bring this into context, and it's a very easy way to, use documentation you already have stored locally if you wanted to do that. So we can just follow up, create a simple test for this, and now we already have the context here, right? And it should be super easy to fix now. Yes, right, and we can check this out, and here we have everything. We just need to import Anthropic, set our API key, and we are kind of ready to try this out, right? So this is something I try out all the time. Try to just refer to my kind of documentation. I have one for OpenAI just to save some time. So this could be useful. This could be anything. You can customize the way you work, right? So yeah, I kind of like this command. Doesn't use it all the time, but sometimes instead of going to OpenAI's documentation, I just use this simple command here. But there's also something that is almost as fast, if not faster, if you're already on the page. So what we can do, if you didn't know, we can use images in Claude Code. So let's say, I just wanted to do a quick call to, let's say, OpenAI. I just need some simple, we can do Python here, right? So I can just screenshot this, right? For some reason I tried to copy this, but I couldn't make it work, but we can just save this, right, into our images. So we can just drag the image in here and explain this, and let's see what happens. So you can see this is clearly working. We can take this a step further, right? We can screenshot this, something like this, drop it in here, extract the text, please. And there we have it, right? And you can follow up. Write a Python code to add all the Roman numbers and come up with a final conclusion. Let's just try that and see if we can do that. Okay, so you can see here, here we have the article text. We extracted some Roman numbers, and the sum is 27 as integral. Can't confirm, can't deny, but yeah, that is just something you can do by using images in Claude Code, right? Another simple thing you can do is you don't have to run everything in like an interactive mode here. So we can do one-shot mode by using the -p command and a query for quick commands. So you can see an example here. We can actually do Claude P, what does this function do? And this would just answer this single command and exit. But we can pipe content into this. So this is like specific context. So you can do cat, maybe log.text, and kind of analyze this error. So this will only focus on this one particular file combined with the query. So I can show you kind of quickly how that works. So if I grab the path to my OpenAI documentation here, and if I go back to, let's say, we can just go back here, and what I can do is I can do cat, right? Do this. We can do this, and we can do Claude-P, and then we can do our query. What model are we using here? So now we specifically just gonna look in this file here, right? You can see we're gonna read this file. So this is just if you want to do like one simple command. So it read all of this, and you can see we are looking at the GPT 4.1 model in this case, and we just exit. We don't continue here. So this was just to look in this specific file we pointed to here in our command here using the kind of the cat function here. So this is something also can be useful if you have a lot of files here and you only want to look in just one of them, not the full context. This could save you some time and maybe some tokens just to save some money, because Claude Code is already expensive. So sometimes I just use this if I know that what I'm looking for is in this specific file. Then I can save some time by just using this quick -p command and kind of referring to a specific file in my code base. Another thing we can do is just do Claude-p and do, let's say, create a list of mock currency rates dataset. So this could be 10. And we do --output-format, and we set our format. This could be JSON. So this, if we run this now, this is probably just gonna look up to create this dataset here. And the output format we specified, you can see here, is gonna be JSON, currency JSON, and we have 10 different currencies. Yes, I want to create that. And this is something you can always do. Just do this output format command here to get, kind of the format you want. So this is also something that can be very helpful if you have like a specific output you want to use. We can update this to get real-time information too if you wanted to. So this is something I use if I know exactly if I want like a special output format. We could do this in another format too if we can try that. So let's do XML. Yeah, you see, this works. So this is also something I recommend if you haven't tried it out. Could be very helpful if you have some specific use cases that fits maybe what you're creating. So if you do prompts, I recommend setting this up using the output format in XML, or you can just specify it. But that works great if you use this --output format command. The final thing I wanted to look at is extended thinking. So this is it's not specified in Claude Code, but they recommend that you can use the kind of the prompt think about or think harder about. So you kind of just have to specify this, and you can ask kind of Claude, think up deeply about. I think we're gonna try think deeply about. So let's try to do that and see what kind of changes if we use that command in Claude Code. So let's try think deeply about a step-by-step plan to calculate arbitrage trading from our currency rates.json dataset. So let's see what happens now if we do this think deeply command. We probably won't see the thinking tokens, but maybe we use more time. But let's see now. Okay, so I'll create a plan and thinking. So this is what I wanted to see. So if you didn't know about this, this is something you can try out. So just use kind of the think deeply about, and we will get these thinking tokens here. So I've tested this out and kind of doing like an initial plan. This could be good for this. But let's let this run out. You can see we're gonna implement the Bellman-Ford algorithm to detect negative cycles, calculate potential profit, calculate functions. Yes, so I'm gonna let this run out. We're gonna run it one time to see what we end up with here. Okay, so we're gonna follow the instructions. So we're gonna do a pip install here. And let's run it. Okay, so we have an error, so we want to fix that. Okay, so it ran. So we did not find any arbitrage opportunities, but we created an exchange graph. So if we take a look here, this is what we created, right? So, that was hard. So this is some kind of graph to kind of look at some arbitrage opportunities. But unfortunately, I don't think we found any. So we're gonna try to do a demo here, I think. Let's try it again. Okay, so just as a demo here, you can see we find a 4% profit. So we can open up this. We found a 4% profit opportunity here between Euro, USD, British pounds, and Euro again. So that was pretty funny. So let's take a look at how that looks. You can see this is kind of marked out here in green, I guess, right? And maybe in red here. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, just some things you can do using the thinking command. And basically that's what I wanted to cover today. I just wanted to go over Claude Code and do maybe some things that could give you some inspiration how you can use this. Like I said, I don't use all this all the time, but I really like to use the Claude MD if I know I'm gonna work in a project, so it can kind of follow my rules, so I don't kind of save some input tokens on that. And dash P just to save some tokens on kind of looking into one specific file you know about is also something I like. Images is always good. So yeah, hope you learned something, gave you some ideas, some inspiration, and I'll see you again very soon.